Alright, huge movie fanatics coming back with another popular, probably, trailer review. This is the final, as far as I know, trailer for Amazing Spider-Man. And I saw it online. I remember liking it online more, and then I saw it in the theater, you know, before Avengers. And I don't know if I was just in a bad mood that day, probably. And I was just like, maybe something about being on this big screen or something, but I'm just like, superhero, superhero, superhero. I don't know, what you take off?
I was not too impressed with the trailer. There are things that the trailer does get right.
The one thing, let me just, one sec. The one thing I thought that was good is the fact that we're seeing maybe more of a reason why the hell this movie exists, in that showing, I don't know what, stuff about his
parents.
Yeah, well, even though if it's stupid, it's more of a reason. Go ahead.
The take that this is what we've said in the past. The Spider-Man movies that Raimi did was a take on the 60s Spider-Man movies, 60s and 70s, or Spider-Man comics.
Oh.
That was his take, and it was a perfectly valid take. That was relatively true to the source material, and it was really, really good. 2 movies, and I like the third one. A lot of people don't, but even that had its good qualities. This one is taking it from the Ultimate Spider-Man storyline, which entirely reinvented the superhero. He's an entirely different kind of superhero, while still being the same central character from 1997 forward. So, I mean, and that's entirely valid too, because there's a large fan base of the Ultimate Spider-Man. I'm one of them. It's a good comic. But that said, like, the direction they're going is kind of wonky. I love the Lizard. Lizard is one of my favorite supervillains in the Marvel universe. Such an interesting, complex character. And from what I understand from the trailer, they've boiled him down to a mad scientist who wants to spread his lizard spores to everybody in Manhattan to turn them into lizard men. Where they got that, I have no idea.
I'm gonna impregnate all the women in Gotham with my, or Metropolis, whatever, with
New
my
York.
with my lizard stuff.
That sounds so laughable. And
but summer, it's like I say, summer popcorn action superhero fluff.
But
that's what Hollywood. If it's in the wrong hands, that's what Hollywood does.
But
remember
the thing
Godzilla,
is,
1998.
I really do like
the same writer. Sounds like it.
I really like the filmmaker.
Yeah,
the guy who wrote the screenplay has written really good things. I like him. And the one thing I will say that he got absolutely right is the characterization of Spider-Man in this. He is so exactly from the Ultimate Spider-Man comics.
Oh, good.
Like the scene that made me laugh out both times I saw the trailer. Yeah, with the knife thing, and he's like, "Oh my god!" and he just crumbles. Yeah,
little small knives.
Yeah, that was genius, and that is so Peter Parker, like all the way across the board. He's always had that fun sense of humor. He didn't really have that in the Raimi ones. I mean, he did, but it was a little more nerdy than this. Like, nerds have changed since the '60s. Nerds are a little more
We're cooler.
Yeah, we're a little more hip now, I'd say, and we have that biting sense of humor, probably as a sign of our times. But and that was there. That was great. And if the movie's like that, you know what? Props. This movie's going to be awesome. But I can't help but feel that this movie is going to fail on the two simple facts. One, it's way too close to the previous Spider-Man movies. This is the 10th anniversary. It's been 5 years since the last one.
10th anniversary of the first one.
Yeah, 5 years since the last one. I don't know if people really want another one of these kind of stories. Like, if you continued it, like James Bond, if you just switched out the actor and then continued on with that same story, that's something different than this.
But the idea of, like, a reboot where...
Yeah, an entire reboot from the ground up, that doesn't really work, I don't think. The other problem is the exclamation points that are the Avengers and the Dark Knight. This is falling between two of... this is, like, I'm assuming...
That's a double prop.
Yeah.
Troops are going to land right in the back there. That'd be cool. Not if they take us...
I don't know if you can even see that.
No, you can't see it. We can see it. Wow, it's a double prop. You're kind of worried.
But anyway, the exclamation points that are the Avengers and the Dark Knight Rises, that's the problem this movie is going to be. Like, that it can't live up to what the Avengers is by any stretch of the imagination, and it's not going to be able to live up to the Dark Knight. So what you have in the middle is just something that's going to be kind of mundane. Well, this will just tide me over until I see the Dark Knight.
Oh, okay.
But Also, I've talked to so many people who were just, the Avengers knocked their socks off, and I don't think like a single superhero story is gonna like satiate that.
You mean
like,
now it's the age of, it's the year of
well, it's not
6
necessarily
superheroes in one movie. If
not
you don't
necessarily
do that,
but like that one has such high expectations that the next superhero movie you see is by default, unless Spider-Man has way more to offer than it's showing us, is just not going to live up to what we just got.
I didn't mention it in the Avengers review, but that was kind of my problem of the Avengers. Is I'm more of a, even in personal life, I'm more of a one-on-one kind of person. So I actually like, today it's like excess action, and the Avengers is a perfect example of excess characters and excess action at the end. One thing I do like, I didn't like so much about it, is the fact that I do like a movie that's got one superhero and you concentrate on him. That's because it's my personal preference. Because to me, less is more. You know, anything over like 3 is a crowd, anything over is just an orgy, whatever. So I just wanted to mention that really quick, because that came to mind right now. I didn't say it in the Avengers review, darn it, but I said it now.
So yeah, like
I have no problem with you know, if you start the summer with a 6 or more superhero movie altogether, I have no problem. It doesn't mean for me that every superhero movie from then on's got to be 6 or more.
No, and I'm not saying that. That's not what I was saying at all.
Oh, what were you saying?
What I was saying was that like it had all these like superheroes, but the movie delivers is what my point is.
So you think it's gonna have
this movie or the Avengers delivered on such a high, huge scale, better than most people expected, that unless Spider-Man can trump that or equal it, that's going to be the forgotten movie of the summer. Like, there's just no way. And I'm assuming Dark Knight is just going to, like, I mean, come on. So, like, this Spider-Man is just going to fall flat. I mean, we reviewed it third for a reason. We just finished reviewing the Avengers and the trailer for the Dark Knight. Like,
because it's that we reviewed it in order of our priorities.
Yeah, and the movie comes out in like what, 2 weeks? I'm not all that excited.
When does it
for
come out?
It comes out like early June.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, it's coming out soon. Like, it's not like, well, we have this to look forward to in the disc. It's coming out, and
it's coming out.
Like, it's almost here, and the excitement I'm hearing is, man, the Avengers was great. Let's see this Dark Knight. Like, not let's see this Spider-Man.
Yeah, I hear you. No,
So
I think
that's the two faults.
If
This kind of came out next summer, you know what? I'd be all for let's see another Spider-Man.
Oh, really?
I think
why next summer?
Just because like some aspects of the trailer did look good, but
You just think coming out a month after Avengers is
a month after Avengers, and a month
before
before Dark Knight.
pancake right in the middle.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I like Oreos, but the cream is not my favorite part. I like the cookie. So
there's a little insight into Matt's
there you go.
cookie.
And some people like the cream. Go for them. Because they're the Spider-Man types, I guess. So, and I love Spider-Man. He's one of my favorite characters. So it's not even that aspect of it. Like, this should have been a movie that I've been dying to see, and I'm not.
Why
and
isn't
I don't
it
know
not?
why.
Oh, you don't know why?
Well, I think the two reasons are that it's coming out so close to a movie that just blew me away, and so soon before another movie that is sure to probably blow me
so
away.
other movies affect what
certainly.
you think about this movie. That's
not
weird.
not necessarily. It's just like the excitement for it. So I'm not excited to see it, but that's not going to affect the movie itself. The movie itself looks like it's problematic just because it's so similar to what we've seen before.
Yeah.
They just, instead of, like, they tinted it from daylight to nighttime, and that's the difference.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's night. His costume looks a little plasticier, and it's in 3D, which I'm not going to see it in 3D.
I may not either, God.
Well, unless especially since it's so dark, like, I mean, what's the point of seeing it in 3D? If it were daytime all the time, then you know what, I'd see it in 3D, because it was shot for it. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not feeling Spider-Man this summer.
Sounds
That's what
great.
it is.
There's probably our last ever Amazing Spider-Man trailer review, probably.
Yep, but I'm gonna see the movie. We'll review that when that comes out.
We'll let you know what we think about it, though.
Yep. Peace.
Happy May.